Hey, everybody, excited. I wanted to invite Jason Bishop, also known as Bish, who's part of our AutoML team, to kind of talk through AutoML a little bit more. There's some exciting things that we have coming up. We're kind of doing this What's Brewing events across the states. And then we're also trying to have some AutoML workshops prior to them in different cities. So I wanted to kind of just talk through AutoML a little bit and why it's so important, why it's so exciting at Qlik, and share a little bit more. So, Jason, thanks for jumping on and spending a little time.
Yeah, absolutely. Love talking about AutoML and how it's helping Qlik's customers, right, to be at the forefront of BI and analytics, right, with predictive.
So, listen, machine learning has been a bit of a buzzword. It's kind of, if you're in the data space, it's out there right now,
Right.
especially in the last 2 years. Can you break down Qlik's AutoML tool for us, why it's so important when it comes to data and business intelligence?
Yeah, so at a high level, we created AutoML to essentially give kind of that BI and analytics team access to a no-code platform, AutoML platform that helps drive business decisions with easily deployed predictive analytics, right? That forward-looking view. And the reason that this is so important, and Mike Capone, our CEO, has alluded to this, that AI is going to be at the forefront, right, of business intelligence. So companies are doing business in real time, and they need analytics to also be in real time. And so that forward-looking view can easily be accomplished with Qlik's AutoML platform, right, to essentially predict what's likely to happen, and then businesses use that information to understand how to affect change, right? So if we're predicting an outcome to be good or bad, right, how can we understand, right, what to do essentially in terms of making decisions as a business to affect those end results to essentially increase, right, ROI. Yeah.
We released AutoML last summer. We fully integrated it into ClickSense SaaS, ClickSense Cloud, as we talk about it. But you've been doing this for years. What are some of the cool stories that you can share about how people are using AutoML?
Sure. Yeah, so the overarching theme for AutoML is it's meant to be, right, an easy to use platform that gets results, actionable results out into the business. So I always say the overarching theme of success is that 90% of our customers have a working predictive model deployed within the first 30 to 45 days of starting. And so that's a full production level model that's built, and they're ready to use those predictive results, right, to make decisions within the business. So that's pretty powerful, right? Rapid time to value. It's really the overarching theme for everything that's AutoML. And then two kind of, I guess, quick customer stories that come to mind in terms of kind of business value. So we have a hospital organization, Appalachian Regional Healthcare, that's using AutoML to simply predict patient cancellations, right? So they have patients that aren't showing up for their appointments. They want to give better patient care, and there's costs associated, right, when patients aren't showing up. So they used AutoML to essentially be able to forecast who's likely to not show up, and they use that model to distribute to their admissions offices out in their different hospitals and clinics. And within the first year, they had knocked that number down of cancellations down 10%. And then the ROI savings tied to that number, it's pretty nuts. It's $6 million, right, that they're saving annually for just reducing this one initial, right, business question. So pretty powerful. And they're deploying this model essentially with one analyst that's building and pushing out the results into the organization. And then the second use case, we have a financial organization, Integra Financial, and they're building a model basically around loan scoring, and they want to understand which loans should they approve, which ones should they not approve, and the end cost savings of more efficiently, right, providing loans was within the first week they had $34,000 in savings, which over the runtime of a year annually is over $1 million, right? So being able again to deploy one simple model, just one use case. And then after that, obviously, there's going to be more questions that come about with predictive analytics. So we like to always say, find kind of that one pressing question, the one thing you'd love to have predicted, right? And then from there, there's always a good ROI value, to moving the needle essentially with that forward-looking view. So.
That's an incredible story. So I want to go back. Like the first point was within 30 to 45 business days, having a working model. That's a crazy number. And then the number about the cancellations was they brought it down 10%, right? just 10% overall cancellations. And in that 10% was $6 million in ROI. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I mean, and the thing to think about, Kurt, and we talk about this, you and I, a lot, it's the incremental gains that come from driving business, right, with math, with predictive analytics, and even moving the needle sometimes 1 percentage point in ROI, increasing revenue, some flavor of cost savings, even 1 point, right, and changing that can mean millions and millions of dollars to these organizations. And then, of course, as you continue throughout the process with AutoML and predictive, right, those numbers are only going to grow. So those are kind of first year numbers for both of those stories, and they're increasing to fine tune the models, find use cases 2, 3, 4. So sky's kind of the limit on what you can really ask for predictive.
This is where the salesperson in me wants to kick in and be like, how comes you, person out there listening, haven't bought AutoML yet, right? Because it's there and we're helping you get it stood up. We're helping you work through that stuff to try to iterate. And I love that when we're on calls with you, you have been just straight up with people. It's like, this isn't the best one to start with. Let's start with something that we can tackle and you guys can see effect on really quickly and gets you that ROI so that the people above you go, well, great job, Mr. Person who said we needed this. You look great. We look great. We save money. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that with you always kind of saying, like, let's go after something that we know we can prove and do it well, not just let it linger on for months and months and months. That's not what we want. So, like I said, we're going to be working, we're going to have a few different AutoML workshops across some different states as we do some travel. Kind of as you're thinking through these workshops, we're having one in Philly very soon. What's the goal of these workshops? What are you hoping that people get out of them?
Sure. Yeah, and actually it kind of relates to the last point you were making around, the first thing is painting the picture for the types of problems that AutoML solves, right? If you can ask a question of trying to forecast a KPI, a metric, we want to give our customers a good understanding of, what's possible. We hopefully paint the picture for where, certain use cases might not apply. And AutoML, we always say kind of fits 80-90% of common business use cases, revenue forecasting, retention-based, right? A lot of financial use cases, within there, even HR, right? We do employee attrition forecasting a lot for our customers, even if they're, top revenue metric, they could be an online, retailer, but maybe their pressing business question is, hey, we're losing employees, right? And it's costing us a lot of money to rehire and retrain. So for us in these workshops, step one of just painting the picture of, where AutoML is helping businesses succeed and talking about, is your use case viable, and even maybe if it needs to be phrased right in a different way. So hopefully our expertise, really paints that end picture for, where sky can be the limit based on, the data that you have and what you want to predict. So that's kind of number one. And then the second piece is, within the workshops, we certainly want people to see how easy the platform, is to use, that anyone with kind of the analytics, the BI, the developer background, that's really our sweet spot, right? To enable them to become citizen data scientists. So seeing how easy the platform is to use, and they're going to actually get their hands directly with myself, Kyle Jordan, one of our other solutions leads, directly when we're doing these events. And then last, the kicker here is making sure people understand how these predictive models actually get deployed out into the business, right? So we're going to help people to use data to predict future outcomes, and then giving them an understanding of, how would they actually take those predictions and then, develop a roadmap to push those out into the business, again, to affect change. So quick model development, 30 to 45 days once customers get going. And then, like I said, they have to have an understanding of, okay, how would I use this in the real world? How would I build a dashboard, right, to ingest these predictive results and then push them into the business?
How do people prepare for these workshops? What do they need to think through? What should they bring along?
Sure. Yeah, so item one is a similar topic like we've been mentioning. Kind of think about, as a business, what do they want to predict, right? Super high level. If you can roll the magic 8 ball and predict, any specific, again, metric KPI at the business, what would that be? Is it understanding, how to achieve the best margins? Is it simply understanding where's revenue going to be, in the next quarter? Or if you're having a retention problem with your customers and you want to be able, to predict, who's likely to cancel a subscription or stop buying in the next 90 days, something like that. So just come with a handful of questions where, you might want to understand if they're possible within AutoML. And then, really after that, for the people that are going to be, sitting with myself, sitting with Kyle, Kurt, and our whole team, bring your laptop. We are actually going to supply a couple different examples of data sets for different types of problems that you can solve. But two, if you have data that you want to bring also, right, to be able to use your own directly within inside of the workshops, you'll be able to do that too. But we'll make sure to supply a couple different examples for those that might not have a curated data set ready. We're going to make sure to provide that. So I'd say those are the main things. Come with ideas of what you'd like to be able to predict. And then two, just bring your equipment, bring some data if you have it. We'll supply it to those that don't, though, to make sure that everyone's hands-on, and super successful with the event, so they can see how easy it is, right, to use AutoML. So within about an hour, they're going to have built a model, showcase how to deploy that. And again, it'll help them really paint the picture for how easy it is to use. And then really, how do we push those results out into the business with QlikSense, right?
Yeah, so I mean, we had one in the Philadelphia area at the King of Prussia Qlik headquarters last summer, and I had two customers attend that. And my feedbacks kind of went to them afterwards. I was like, "What did you get out of the event?" And she had said, she's like, one of the coolest things was I had my ideas for how we were going to use AutoML and machine learning, but hearing how others were thinking about using it or how it would work in this different industry made me think about other ideas within our industry and within our thing. And like I said on a video that I posted the other day about the What's Brewing event coming up, that's some of the coolest part is when you're with other people all thinking about the same things, but your individual case that then is like, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. Like, and you're seeing it all mesh together, and people are going like, "This is cool." They're rallying around the technology and the helping of each other to say like, "How could we all work together and give each other ideas to be as successful as possible?"
Yeah, because with the, at least for King of Prussia that's happening just next week, I mean, we're having about every industry that you could think of. So manufacturing, healthcare, finance, retail, across the board. So sometimes there's some similar themes, and then sometimes people just give some new general ideas on what their use case is, and maybe we rephrase that question from a manufacturing type of question to how does that affect an insurance company, things like that. So 100% correct. The general brainstorming of that audience, just talking about ideas in front of everyone, it just brews more and more, right?
Well, that was all I had for you. For those of you listening, keep an eye out from your account managers about like if we're going to be having a AutoML workshop near you or What's Brewing event. I know that these guys, Jason and Sean and Kyle from the AutoML team, they're traveling to a couple different ones. So even if we don't have the AutoML workshop, they're going to be talking about AutoML at these different events. It's going to be fun. And if you want to talk, reach out to your account manager, to Jason and myself. I'll connect the dots on that and make sure that we're having the right conversations with you about AutoML and showing you what is possible. It's going to be awesome. So, but super excited about it, Jason. It's going to be good to see you again next week and be in person. Anything else you want to add as we sign off here?
No, it's great. Super excited. We always look forward to the audience. Qlik AutoML is at the forefront of what's really driving analytics at Qlik right now. And so it's not only kind of the latest and greatest, right? Qlik's making a lot of acquisitions to enhance the platform. And when Qlik acquired our company, they essentially knew that they needed to add predictive into the ecosystem to make sure that everyone has access to the next level of analytics, right? Driving the business with a forward-looking view. It's just it's the way of the future, and we're looking forward to being a big part of it.
It's gonna be awesome. Jason, thanks so much. And there's links to What's Brewing. There's links to AutoML workshops. We'll make sure all that's included so that you guys can sign up for what's in your area. Thanks so much.